Alright guys, welcome to Taking the Time. This is a special episode where we're comparing a Panerai 8 Days to a Gruppo Gamma Peacemaker. The 8 Days is a luminar case and the Peacemaker is very much modeled after that case. So we're going to look at all aspects of the watch except for the strap and accuracy. Personally, don't record time and pay attention to how accurate a lot of watches are, so I didn't feel that this would be a relevant thing for me to touch on since it's not something that I base any of my purchases on. Alright, so we have a Peacemaker by Gruppo Gamma, 44mm ETA movement. We have the Luminar Panerai's 8 Days, which is an 8-day in-house movement. That is really the biggest difference between these two guys is the movements, and we'll get into that a little bit later. The Gruppo Gamma is a sandwich style, Cali style. The Gruppo Gamma is a sandwich style with the traditional 12-3-6 with the subdial at second. So they're both sandwich styles. The Panerai has a subdial seconds at 9 o'clock, and the Gruppo Gamma has a center seconds second hand. So that would be the other significant difference that we would look at as far as aesthetics of the watch. The Gruppo Gamma is a bronze, obviously. I've had the stainless version as well, so I feel comfortable and confident speaking to both the stainless and the bronze cases of the Gruppo Gamma. Alright, so the cases, we're looking at the cases, we're looking at the lug finish, we're looking at the metal finish, the shape, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not going to sit here and split hairs and be like, okay, the Panerai has sharper angles on the case, and that's the original spirit of the Panerai. The Gruppo Gamma has taken its own vibe and feel by kind of smoothing and rounding out that lug area and integration of the lugs into the case, which is a fantastic thing in my opinion. They both have beautiful cases. Their case finishes are both top-notch, high quality. If it's a stainless Gruppo Gamma, it's the polish. The bronze is a beautiful brushed finish. The Panerai is a high-polished case. Again, they're both high-quality finishes. I can't make a complaint about the finish of either the Gruppo Gamma or the Panerai's finish. The Peacemaker on the bronze, I believe, had a slightly different screw system than the stainless version, the prior, which had the Miyota movement. The one complaint with the Gruppo Gamma I had was the way the screw didn't quite seat in. It was a little harder to change straps, and this has been rectified. I believe either that or I just got a little better at changing the straps on the Gruppo Gamma. So they're both the Panerai and the Gruppo Gamma have the screw strap system, which works well on both watches. But if you aren't a skilled person when it comes to changing straps, there's a pretty good chance you're going to scratch your lugs on either watch. Bezel finish, again, just like the case, they're very similar. You aren't going to find an error or flaw in the finish of a Gruppo Gamma just like you'd expect with the Panerai. So I'm going to move on to looking at the crowns now. With the Peacemaker, we have a screw down crown. It doesn't have the crown guard or that locking cover like the Panerais do, which is obviously a patented thing. Again, this is where Gruppo Gamma is kind of taking their own design and creating their own out of that inspiration from Panerai, which I truly love. A lot of you guys know from listening to the shows that I'm not a fan of homages. Gruppo Gamma is that one exception for me. They've taken an idea and made it their own, and it resembles somewhat a Panerai a lot of times, but it's got its own features, and the crown, the way the crown is presented here is one of those. It's a large, unprotected crown, and it exhibits its own feel. Again, with the Panerai, you do have that crown protector, which is a signature thing on a Panerai piece that you expect to see, unless it's a radiumer. A great design, a great look. It's the iconic look and feel of a Panerai. Functions well. and it does its job, and it protects that quite petite gear-like stem and crown. The one complaint with the Panerai is winding is quite a bit difficult because of that little crown. So it's not as easy as a lot of watches to wind because of that. So if we were going to score these, I would probably take a point off for the difficulty in winding on the Panerai, so the Gruppo Gamma would win on that front. All right, let's flip the watches over and we're going to look at the exhibition backs on both pieces. We have on the Panerai, we have that P5000 in-house 8-day movement, 21 jewels, and it's a brushed finish with all the Panerai detailing. It's a very simply finished watch, whereas with the Gruppo Gamma you have the ETA movement, the ETA 2824 movement, I believe. I don't think it's a 92. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but the watch case back has a bronze ring and then it has a signed rotor. So with the comparing of these two, I would say that I would give the point to Gruppo Gamma with that nice bronze finish on the inside of that display case, and then the signed rotor. It's just a little more aesthetically pleasing compared to the 8 days, which is a largely brushed manual wind finish case back with a large plate that they could have done something with, but I guess they're Panerai and they don't have to, right? So we've looked at the crowns, we've looked at the cases, we've briefly went over the dials. A couple things to mention: both of these watches have similar high quality lume. They both glow very bright and very strong. The numbers on the Panerai are a little thinner, and the ones on the Gruppo Gamma are a little smaller, but they are in essence a bit bigger, so you may have a little bit more glow out of the Gruppo Gamma, but they are both going to be very, very legible in the dark. The second hand doesn't have any luminous on the Gruppo Gamma, the center seconds, but the Panerai does have lume on the second hand. So if for some reason it's extremely important for you to time seconds in the dark, then the Panerai is going to be, I guess, the way to go for that. Both of these watches are great finish watches. The Gruppo Gamma does come on an exceptionally soft Horween strap, which I find phenomenal. Panerai factory straps are usually calf, unless you want to pay a quite hefty fee for a croc strap, and they're fairly average, whereas the Gruppo Gamma has a higher quality strap out of the gate, in my opinion. Both have signed buckles. The Gruppo Gamma does follow that pre-V vibe for their buckle, or pre-V style for their buckle. Really, again, these are two excellent pieces. At the end of the day, the Panerai is going to be several $1,000s. The Gruppo Gamma is going to be, between $700 and $1,000, depending on if you get it on a pre-order or what the case may be. But seriously, the quality of both of these timepieces is very high. You are going to expect, a high quality timepiece when you pay, $5,000 and up for a Panerai Luminar. But the thing is with the Gruppo Gamma, you're not sacrificing quality by any means. You're getting a Swiss movement. This bronze peacemaker was the first peacemaker to have the Swiss movement, and they've been slowly working up this way to where I think all the Gruppo Gammas minus the Nexus do have Swiss movements now. So if that's something you're a stickler about, then you're safe on that front. You're getting a high quality Swiss movement, a high quality finished case, a well thought out design. The X factor here, I think, is Naoki and customer service from Gruppo Gamma. Each watch gets regulated by him so that they're very accurate. You have an issue with Gruppo Gamma, which I never have, and I've owned at least a half a dozen of these watches from Gruppo Gamma that gets taken care of rather quickly and efficiently. So again, phenomenal customer service. I've never dealt with Panerai customer service so I definitely can't speak towards that. But you would hope that for several $1,000s you're going to get good quality customer service, right? All right, so that kind of wraps up our overview, and hoping you guys enjoy the compare and contrast of the Gruppo Gamma with the Panerai Luminar watch. Again, obviously the 8 days is kind of a not the greatest match for this compare and contrast, but I think we get the general idea. On the Luminar bases and the Luminars that don't have the 8-day movements, what you see is a plain steel case back. They're water resistant to 300 meters, whereas the Gruppo Gamma is 200 meters. So all you saturation divers out there that don't wear watches anyway, you can pay attention to that, I guess. But I guess that's really the big difference spec-wise on these watches is the water resistance. I didn't talk about crystals. They both have sapphire crystals. The Gruppo Gamma has a nice domed crystal, which is more aesthetically pleasing in my personal opinion. But again, that's a personal opinion. The Panerai's got a flatter crystal, which isn't as prominent. But again, we're looking at, let's just say a $850 watch compared to a $6,000 watch. You're getting a considerable bang for your buck, and if you're looking for that similar Panerai vibe or look, that's the win too. So again, guys, thank you for taking the time. I know this was kind of a quick one, but really specs are very similar. The Swiss movements, case materials, sapphire crystals, etc. Really it comes down to personal preference and wallet preference, right? But I hope you guys enjoyed this for the third time. I think I've said that. Be sure and like and subscribe at Veterans Watch Collectors channel on YouTube and Taking the Time on Facebook. We also have Apple Podcast and a podcast distribution through Anchor that you can find on our Facebook channel and Facebook page. Thank you for your time, and have a good day.